What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So, in light of the news breaking that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford will happen at the end of July, Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford at the end of July, I see a lot of people making videos, stating their predictions and so on and so forth. Some people got Errol winning, some people got Terrence winning. But I really got to dispute something. The people who are not all people, but some people who have Terrence, a lot of people who have Terrence winning, have this misconception that Errol Spence is a basic fighter. He's one dimensional. He's basically like he's just straight up and down. He's not that good. He's just been fighting the right people, so on and so forth. A lot of people underestimate Errol Spence's abilities. And I think that if you do that, I think you're silly to do that. Errol Spence is a lot better than what people believe. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of his fighting ability. I watched this brother fight for a while now. And I see the things that he does that doesn't get talked about or noticed a lot. You see, Errol Spence is not a flashy fighter, right? He's not wowing you with athleticism or quickness like a Roy Jones Jr. However, he's an all-around fighter, straight up. Okay? Terrence Crawford is a guy who has, a quickness and athleticism that can wow people at times or whatever. Errol Spence, not so much. But Derrick James has Errol fundamentally sound, impeccably sound. And he's completely polished. He's like Tim Duncan to me. He's not a guy who gonna wow you with, dunking and all these different crazy layups, so on and so forth, like a Kobe Bryant would have. But he's effective. He's fundamentally sound. He's polished all the way around. He's more than effective. He's tremendous at what he does. And he gets the job done in whatever way he has his will. At will, he'll get the job done. Right? Errol Spence's fight game is so impressive to me. His offensive fight game is so impressive to me, man. Like, I watch that brother fight, and I marvel at it. Watching him fight Yordenis Ugas, that was a beautiful showcase. That was an absolute destruction, a beatdown, right? And while I've admitted, as an Errol Spence fan, I've admitted that Terrence Bud Crawford has more skill than Errol. He's more skilled. But just because a person is more skilled does not mean they're better, right? The other guy may do what he does so well that he can overcome you. For instance, in basketball, Yao Ming was more skilled than Shaquille O'Neal. However, he was not better than Shaq. Shaq was just so damn dominant. You couldn't stop what he was doing. You couldn't stop it, right? When I watch Errol fight, uppercuts, body shots, hooks, jabbing from the outside, his punch variance is fun to watch. He can control the outside with just a jab. I've seen him neutralize Mikey Garcia with a jab, right? Several guys. And people say stuff like, well, Mikey was a smaller guy. I've seen him use that jab on the likes of Danny Garcia and beat Danny worse than he's ever been beat before. Danny's face looked all battered and messed up worse than he ever did when he fought guys like Sean Porter, right? Not only is his punch variance something that I marvel at, his punch volume is extremely fun to watch. Like, he will literally drown fighters with his work rate. He'll drown you. I watched him do it to Kell Brook. I watched him do it to Yordenis Ugas. I watched him do it with like Sean Porter fought him extremely well. That was the best Sean Porter I've ever fucking seen, for real. But towards the end of the fight, I'm watching him still like take it to Sean and get better at the end in the championship rounds. Errol looked better than he looked the entire fight. That's another thing with him. He gets better as the fight goes on. His conditioning, oh my fucking God. Like, to be able to, the brother can throw 100 punches around. He literally can. And keep up that pace for the entirety of the fight. Like, that is that's an engine. Right? Again, it seems like he gets stronger as the fight goes on and on. I mean, that's because his conditioning is just great, man. He will punch through the guard, and his persistence does not fade. Like I was watching when he was fighting Kell Brook, and Dominic Ingle, Kell Brook's trainer, was basically saying that Errol was fading. He was telling Kell he's fading. But he wasn't, right? His opponents, this is the thing. Errol will keep punching through that guard at will, persistence. He did the same thing to your Dennis Ugas as well. His opponents eventually will tire out and fade, and his rhythm picks up like he's beating on a drum. It's shit like percussion. He will beat you into submission the way he did Yordenis Ugas. Now, people will say Yordenis Ugas isn't the best puncher. Kell Brook, I don't know. He doesn't crack like Terrence Crawford or Danny Garcia was not as elite as Bud or so on and so forth. But again, it's something about Errol. He will beat on you, and he's not the best one-punch knockout guy, but the wear and tear on your body, the shit will get to you as the fight goes on. I heard Chris Van Heerden say that, right? And people were talking about Yordenis Ugas fight. They watching him fight Ugas, and he's like, oh my God, Ugas is standing right in front of him. He's not moving. He's not moving. He's not moving. He's not moving because Errol is like beat the shit out of the sides of his body to where his legs are starting to become immobilized. They're starting to get heavier than what they are for real because he's been getting beat on for rounds on the side of his body, and this shit is hard for him to move. Wearing a nigga like the hooks to the body, jabbing to the body, that was taking a toll on him to the point where it was hard for him to move around like he wanted to. Them legs get heavy, them sides get beat on like that, and it's again, that wear and tear will eventually make guys fade. Another thing about Errol, he will not stop coming forward and pressuring you. It doesn't matter what shots come his way. He's gonna stay calm, stay patient, and he's gonna land his shots within the eye of the storm. That's something that impresses me about Errol. His poise is tremendous. That fight against Sean Porter, a lot of guys would have folded, would have got nervous, would have faded because Sean was coming like a steam engine. Like he was coming forward. He was coming with everything. He got throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Errol, and Errol remained calm. I said, that's a skill, man. Like, he remained calm and steady. I'm going to keep coming. I'm going to be here all fucking night. You're going to have to beat me off of you. I don't give a fuck what you're throwing. I'm going to keep coming with this shit on you. And he kept coming, kept landing his shots beautifully. He was countering Sean well at times. And I'm like, that's that shit, man. That is dog shit. I don't care what you're doing. Some guys get routed. I've said it before in boxing matches. Some guys, when they're getting hit with shots and they hear the oohs and ahs from the crowd, and the crowd is saying, ooh, oh my God. When that fighter is the favorite and they hear the crowd like really like getting like just becoming loud at the shots that are landing against them, they fold and they pack it in, and they just fold, and they pack it in and they take the loss. Errol Spence say, I don't care what the outside oohs and ahs is. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm gonna keep coming at you. You're gonna have to like beat me to death for you to get this win. And I'm gonna beat the shit out of you until it's unbearable. Same with Mikey Garcia, man. Listen, because people always say this about Errol. Oh, he's just a big guy. He just come forward. Like, man, the man outboxed Mikey cleanly. He beat Mikey not because he was a bigger guy, the stronger guy. He was a superior boxer to Mikey. Mikey couldn't do shit with anything Errol was doing, man. And this is the thing, too, that goes extremely underrated, or is really kind of unnoticed about Errol. His defense is extremely underrated. To me, he's more defensively responsible than Terrence. Terrence gets hit more than Errol. Errol blocks a lot of punches with his gloves, right? He parries a lot of shots. And blocking the shots, that takes the sting off the punch, where the punch doesn't do what the other guy intends for it to do, okay? Errol, because he's not a Mayweather guy or a Pernell Whitaker, it will make you miss, duck, and dodge like that. People think his defense isn't sound. I watch him block a lot of punches easily. And he's like, when he throws punches, responsible, hands right back up, right back up. I see him hold the phone. He throws something, hold the phone. That's when you know a guy is disciplined, okay? And as much as Terrence is a brilliant fighter, Terrence's hands does not go up immediately after he throws shots a lot of times. Sometimes he lets them linger for a while and then he brings them back up. Errol, back up. Sound. He throw a shot. He knows a counter could be coming. Hold the phone so you won't get hit in the ear to knock your equilibrium off, right? And then I say this about Errol, man. He puts fighters into a no-punch zone, okay? What I mean by that is he smothers you until you can't get off the shots that you want to get off. Because he is in your face. You can't come and throw with the type of velocity that you want to throw with because he's on you. So what the fuck? You got to throw short little shots at times because he's in your face saying, what's up? I'm here. I don't care what you trying to do. I'm here. Come stop me, dog. Right? Errol is on your ass from rounds 1 to 12. And he can throw 100 punches a round and sit down on every single punch. To me, and I'm not saying he is the same as Marvin Hagler, but that's Marvin Hagler-like. Like sitting down on them punches, staying on your ass 1 to 12. And Errol has a chin, too. Like, I've seen him take shots from Kell Brook, from Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, where it's like, and your Dennis, when the mouthpiece came out against your Dennis Ugas, right? Mouthpiece came out, and then Errol has been in an interview with this girl, his woman, and he said that when the mouthpiece came out, he looked down. He said the first instinct, now the ref did say stop. We saw that the ref said stop. You know, my man Showbiz, the adult, broke that down and showed the ref saying stop, and then the ref didn't commit to stopping the fight, which allowed your Dennis Ugas to tee off on Errol. But Errol said initially he looked down because he thought his teeth came out. He didn't get his mouth guard fitted appropriately because he was embarrassed and ashamed about losing his teeth. He really didn't want to make that seem like it was a real problem with the mouth guard and so on and so forth. And he didn't address it properly. Like, I'm going to address it now because I can't have that type of stuff happening in big fights like this, right? But when he gets stunned and wobbled against the ropes, it's like that made him mad. He proceeded to beat your Dennis Ugas' ass at the end of the round. And from that on, at the end of the round, from the end of round 6 to the rest of the fight, he whooped your Dennis Ugas into submission, gave him a penitentiary-style ass whooping. Okay? And I'm like, yeah, that's dog shit. That is dog shit. Like, that's Goliath stuff. Like, that 7th round, after he got stunned, it was so brutal for your Dennis Ugas, it's over with. I've seen Errol take ton of shots. Take certain shots from certain guys. And it was like, come on, what's happening? What's happening? Like, even against Kell Brook. And you can say, well, does he still have that beard after the car crash? I believe so. I've seen Danny land certain shots on him. I've seen your Dennis Ugas land. And people like, Ugas not a hard puncher. I just think Errol has a certain amount of dog in him. And a certain amount of, like, gorilla in him that's just like, listen, you can do what you want to do. Do as you may. I'm going to be here. I'm not going to give up. He has a resiliency and a fighter that you want. A resiliency, mental fortitude, the mental game for Errol. He's sharp. He's not easily rattled. He's not easily taken off of his square. He's going to stick to that game plan. And he's going to figure shit out to get the job done. A lot better. He's more cerebral than guys give him credit for, man. He's not just a brute. But a lot of the Errol Spence naysayers look at him as just a brute. He's much more than that. If he wasn't, he would have lost by now. You know, and even watching the Sean Porter fight where people like, he barely beat Sean. Man, I had that fight 8-4 after watching it. And again, scorecards change. After you watch a fight afterwards, it looks completely different at times. Same way when you watch Lomachenko and Devin Haney. To me, I see why they gave Dev the win after the fight. You know, I said it could be a draw, or I didn't care about. It could have went to either guy, or it could have been a draw. But in retrospect, after watching the fight, I feel like I see why they gave Dev the win. For real, it like, okay, now shit, it's looking a little different now. I see why I was leaning in Devin Haney's way. Same way I felt about the Sean Porter fight, man. So yeah, I just think that, man, Errol is a lot better than what guys give him credit for, man. He's a skillful guy. He didn't beat Mikey because he was bigger or stronger. It's because he was the better boxer. He didn't come forward on Mikey all night and just try to walk him down all night. Man, stand on the outside, pop, pop, jab. And I said, oh, shit, man. He's able to show different wrinkles in his fight game that is extremely impressive, man. And I believe he deserves much more credit than what people are giving him as a fighter. And I think we've yet to see the best Errol Spence. But I think in a fight like this against Terrence Crawford, where he knows this guy is an elite fighter, you're going to see a different type of Errol. And I think Errol's going to show different wrinkles to his game that we may have not known he even has. You know, because he's going to fight a different way against Terrence because he knows he's going to have to. Right? So I'm excited for this fight. Been waiting for this fight for a while. Can't wait to see the results. Y'all know my guy's Errol Spence Jr., but I got a lot of respect for Terrence Boyd Crawford and what he's done over his career, being undisputed at 140, being champion at 135. All phenomenal feats. Right now, we have an undisputed clash at 147. But I think people are sleeping on Errol Spence. Errol is a dog. He from the suburbs. He not from the trenches, like Terrence Bud Crawford is. But like I tell y'all, that shit don't win no fight, dog. That's not why Terrence is winning, because he from the hood and nothing like that anyway. But that shit, though, I've seen dudes from the suburbs whoop a hood dude's ass a lot in my lifetime, actually. So that don't mean nothing. But Errol Spence, man, I believe the brother is a lot more impressive than what people believe, and you'll see it come fight night. Machiavelli Mills TV, y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave comments in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.